It seems to me with the album that you've just released, there's this kind of dichotomy at the heart of it, where on the one hand you have the fast-paced kind of galvanizing rock, and yet throughout it you kind of have these quite quiet, intimate moments. For you, which comes more naturally, musically?
Well, when I'm writing them, it usually comes from just me in my bedroom on my own, just like thoughts and feelings. So for me, that comes more natural. I think the rockier kind of songs, the harder kind of songs, that kind of comes just as a counterpart to it rather than the start of it. Really, it comes after we've kind of learnt the song and I've showed it to the lads and that, and it takes its own shape.
I guess throughout the album as well, it kind of helps to give it a slightly different balance. Like you couldn't have it just be intimate stuff the whole way through. It needs that kind of added bite to it.
Yeah, I write all kinds of different things, so it's like keeping it diverse.
I mean, if they begin life in your bedroom like you're saying, at what point do you start to get a sense of the way that it's going to take shape with the band? At what point do you start to get a sense of how the song is going to look as a whole?
Well, I don't until I show it to him.
In the rehearsal room that happens, really, innit?
Yeah, because when I write a song, I think of it a certain way, but the lads, when they hear it, they'll have their own ideas and their own images of what the song is. I think that's what makes it quite different all the time, because there's kind of 4 different perspectives on it.
It's interesting too because this year, for you as a band, has probably been the one in which the trajectory has kind of increased the most and it's kind of shut off. But I'm intrigued, what kind of groundwork do you feel like you laid last year in 2020 that has allowed this year to happen?
We did a lot the album. We recorded that in lockdown, that's what we did.
Yeah.
We did mainly just like content. That Blackpool Tower gig, that was amazing. That went well, everyone loved that. And then it was just bits and bobs really until we could do what we're doing now on this tour. So.
Yeah, as much as I don't thrive off it like others, social media did help kind of reaching new people that we wouldn't have, like if we didn't kind of utilise that. So social media definitely helped.
It was the only way for us to talk to people for a good long while, so
Yeah.
we kind of had to use it more than anything, but it worked.
Did you notice any change in the music you were making when you kind of had your only means of communication was through a phone and you weren't getting that in-person contact as a group?
I definitely wrote. My writing process was different in terms of like what I was writing about. It was a lot of songs that we've got kind of feed off an audience. That's where I got the ideas and the energy from to write them. But obviously not seeing anybody for like 18 months, I started writing very like inward, quite deeply. So even now, like playing this tour and that, I've kind of found I've got different kind of ideas in my head and a different kind of mentality towards songs.
How would you describe that kind of shift in mentality?
Just like I said, when I'm on my own, I go inwards and I go quite deep and kind of pour my heart out. But when you're in an atmosphere with like thousands of people, and it's kind of, you want to make it enjoyable as you can for people, and I feel like you have to have a certain kind of selection of songs to kind of bring the atmosphere up and give them something to like let their hair down to. So I'm starting to understand that a bit more now.
One of the motifs you have on the album is this kind of warlike imagery. Like on Fight On, you've kind of got reference to guerrilla fighters, I think, and there's references to pacifism and stuff on different songs too. What sort of personal battles do you feel like you overcome through making music with the Lathums?
confidence for me mainly. Just, you know, speaking to people and that. I wouldn't have been able to do this 2 years ago, put it that way. So
I think it's still going on really. Just trying to figure stuff out, figure myself out. Yeah.
a lot of stuff to learn. Still.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions with no answers.
There is.
Yeah. I think it's just keeping your head down and that and trying to stay positive with things, even when they don't seem that positive.
With what you were saying there about confidence as well, and that's something, you know, that's kind of increased for you in the past couple of years, how do you see that manifested on you playing on stage?
I think people just bring it out of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're just being ourselves and that, we're not putting anything on. So when people show you that they accept that and they love it, it's it kind of let you guard down a little bit more, be more open with them, and it just kind of naturally just flows from there. You just kind of just learn like who you are and kind of like know who you are like within yourself, and then you kind of more self what's the word those self-aware maybe. I was kind of thinking like the opposite of insecure.
Confident.
Yeah, self-confidence and that.
It's not even like a cocky confidence though. It's more of just like being comfortable with being in that situation, in this situation, being like it's just being comfortable more than anything.
Being able to enjoy it too, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Like we don't walk on stage and think I look dead cool. I'm just like, huh, look at all them. A lot of people there. So that's when I put my head down.
You mentioned learning lessons about yourself too, you know, through making music. What do you feel like is something that you've learned about yourself recently that surprised you? For the pair of you.
No one's ever gone this deep before. It's good.
I
like it.
Yeah. Go on, I've got one.
Go on. Thank you.
I've found I'm not as much of a loner as I thought I was. I've always kind of thought of myself as someone who just like sticks on their own and that and just does their own thing. And I still do like that. I still do need a lot of time for that, but I'm a lot more social than I thought I was. Not even just in terms of like going out meeting people, because I don't really do that. Just like speaking with people and kind of like connecting with a person. I thought I wouldn't be very good at that, but apparently I'm quite good at it.
Is something changed within yourself as well that's kind of allowed that to happen, do you think?
Maybe. I think, like I said, I just got more comfortable with myself and that, and just kind of like let myself go. Don't have that kind of like guard up.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to communicate, I suppose.
And for yourself?
Don't know, mate, I'm not very surprising me, I'll be honest. I'm quite a boring person. I don't do much.
Do you think you need to be obsessed with music to be good at it then? Like you're saying, you're quite quiet outside of it. Does this kind of become the thing at the centre of your life, and do you need to be obsessed with it in order to kind of get to where you've been today?
I think it helps.
Yeah, I think there's just a certain group of people that can just express themselves this way better than any other way, and I think that's how they find themselves in this industry. So I think that's my standpoint. Yeah.
You kind of just gravitate toward it naturally?
Yeah, just always loved it. Interested me, you know, so...
With the title of the album too, what sort of moments in day-to-day life would make you realise how beautiful life can be? What would sort of prompt that revelation for you? What's a moment recently that's kind of sparked that in you?
Waking up happy. Pretty much every day for a good few weeks now.
That's nice.
That feels like quite a nice note to kind of wrap up on, to be honest. It's quite a positive kind of endpoint. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you for having us.
Wow, nice one.